Hey friends, in our time together today, I decided we should talk about another tune type, a march. I mean, after all, we've already played a couple together and we haven't defined the tune type yet. So let's dive into that today. When I was growing up, my dad loved John Philip Sousa marches. And just saying that, John Philip Sousa marches are reverberating in my brain. And I, as a youngster, thought that a march fit only into that rhythm and cadence. And it was only as I was growing and learning more about music that I realized that every culture has its own style of a march, its own rhythm of marching, its own cadence, as it were, to a march. And the same is true with Irish marches. So let's say from the start that there's a consistent message with understanding Irish music. And I said it before, and I'm going to say it again because it's something I keep hearing from every source I go to learn more. And that is, if you want to understand this aspect of Irish music, listen, 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 and then when you're done, listen some more. You've got to get the feel of a march, an Irish march, kind of into our blood to be able to play it well. Otherwise, we might tend to get a little mechanical with it because these music types don't fit into little compartmentalized boxes that we can squeeze it into and say, well, this is a march. Just doesn't work that way. But a march is a march. It has a kind of a cadence and a feel and a flow because it is called a march since it's a tune that is intended to help like a group, large or small, of people progress along a journey. And that march gives them a set pace. It helps set the mood for how they're going to progress along this journey. And even depending upon how they're going to progress along the journey, I've heard someone describe even an Irish march as having a bit of a crisp feel to it. So that's why we say listen, listen, listen. You've got to get a sense for what the tune feels like from listening. So, folks moving from one place to another. Are we marching into battle? Are we coming home from a battle? Were we victorious? Did we lose? Are we marching, as it were, to a funeral in lament? Are we marching, as it were, to a wedding in celebration? Are we marching in a parade? What's going on with the tune? And so like all the other Irish tunes we've talked about, what's the story behind the tune? Why was it written? What did the lyrics say? What's being conveyed? Because what is being conveyed by the lyrics and the purpose of the tune is how we play the tune. It forms how you and I play the tune. So as a result of all of that, you won't see marches limited to a certain time signature or rhythmic flow. This makes it rough for websites like The Session to categorize a march. And so I actually learned in reading some pretty rough discussions on their discussion board that there was a good bit of time when the Session website didn't even have marches because you could find them in 3/4 time, 2/4, 4/4, 6/8, 9/8. And the session website likes to categorize tune types based on time signature because, well, many of the tune types have a specific time signature. But we can't get locked into that with a march. So listen to them. What's the feel about? What's the purpose? What emotion is being expressed in this tune? For example, we played together Return from Fingal. It is a march, but it's a march of victory mingled with the pain of loss. If you need the context behind that tune, go back and watch that video. And so this category of a march gets messy. And it gets messier because I've said listen, 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 but I've seen marches played in alternate rhythms and in alternate styles. So make sure that when you listen to a march, you're listening to it played as the march. And so it'll have a walking pace or a trot cadence at least to it. There are many excellent marches for us to learn. One of my goals in helping us learn these tunes and these tune types is to select a tune that you and I are going to be able to learn together. I look through so many tunes to find ones that aren't going to exasperate us, but also are going to challenge us. So I don't want something really basic, and I don't want something too difficult. So in a couple of days, we're going to play a march together. We're going to learn one, and then I'll play it subsequently. But in doing that, it's important for us to realize that I'm selecting a tune that will stretch us, but also that we can have success with. And I've found marches all over the map with how difficult they are to play. And so that'll be interesting. So look through on different websites at some of the marches listed, and you'll find, as I said, an incredible variety. But again, set cadence for the purpose of going from one place to another for a wide variety of reasons, in a wide variety of time signatures. Listen to them, reflect on them, and I'll share one in the upcoming days. I hope this little overview helps. And I know it's a little confusing, and that's okay because, well, a march is a little confusing. But we'll get into it. Listen, listen, listen. Immerse yourself in them for a little while, and then you'll start getting a feel of an Irish march and the wide variety of purposes for which it exists. So until next time, my friends, happy whistling. This is Scott Shade.